All right, I think everyone's on. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the meeting now. Good evening. I would like to welcome you all to our Dania Beach City Commission hybrid regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 11th. It is 7 o'clock p.m. Very slowly, call the roll, please.
Mayor James,
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino,
Here.
I didn't say.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn,
Here.
Commissioner Udman,
Here.
City Manager Garcia,
Here.
City Attorney Bootzes.
Here. Can you please join me in taking a moment of silence? Thank you, and can you please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am going to take a small point of privilege to read this expression of sympathy. We lost a very important member of our community, Rodney Collins. His services is tomorrow, and so I'm just going to read a little bit about him. It reads, whereas on behalf of the city of Dania Beach, I wish to record our deep sorrow of the passing of Rodney Collins. And whereas Rodney was born to Dania Beach pioneers, M. Sterling and Anita Collins on December 11, 1949. He graduated from Addix High School in 1967, where he served as class president and National Honor Society president. He attended Morehouse College in Atlanta and received his Bachelor's of Arts degrees in economics in 1971. And whereas Rodney was admitted to the University of Miami Medical School among one of the first Black people accepted for admission, but was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1971 and deployed to Korea from 1972 to 1974, where he served in a mobile army surgical hospital, the MASH unit. Upon discharge from the military, he returned home and worked for Broward County as a health department inspector. Whereas Rodney Collins married Cynthia L. Davis in 1978 and moved to Denver, Colorado, where Rodney worked for a publishing company. They had two beautiful children, son Travis and daughter Sylvia. And whereas Rodney continued his career at the State of Florida Fiscal Office in the State of Florida Department of Juvenile Justice, and whereas Rodney was an active volunteer in the Dania Beach community, he served as a PTA officer for Walker Elementary and was instrumental in addressing abusing, boundary, and facility issues across Broward County School District. He was heavily involved in community issues, possessed an envious historical memory, and worked hard for the betterment of his city. And whereas Rodney's passing will leave a tremendous void in the hearts of his loved ones in the Dania Beach community. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, in recognition of Rodney's many contributions to our city and its citizens, do hereby express our deep appreciation for his dedication to this community and do extend to his family our sincere sympathy upon his passing. His services are tomorrow morning. I'm unsure of the time. Um, it's just it's a big blow to the community. Um, Rodney Collins was one that will come here and was not afraid to tell any of us how he felt. Big advocate for our communities, and that loss is tremendous. It's going to be a tremendous void to fill, and so I wish his family all of my thoughts and prayers. We'll move on to the advertising Dania Beach presentation by Commissioner Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. And I would like to also express my deepest condolences to the Collins family. I did hear that it is going to be a service tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Mount Zion AME Church, 215 Northwest 5th Avenue in Dania Beach. All right, let us begin here. The purpose of this presentation is to talk about advertising Dania Beach. I really have gone through, it's probably will be a year next month, where we've done a lot of research, and I want to share that research with you, my colleagues today, to also seek consensus for possible future workshops so that we can all give our ideas for advertising Dania Beach and to provide the administration with some direction for the RFPs for advertising in Dania Beach. So, in the interest of time, if you have any questions about my presentation during my presentation, please save your questions for the end. During our CRA meeting, we talked about how important it was to have a strategic plan. And our advertising Dania Beach is directly in alignment with the strategic plan. The first goal was tourism and development. We all agreed and had passed that we want to increase international and national tourism, more visitors coming to Dania Beach to enjoy our community in partnerships with local agencies and publications. And the third one is funding Dania Beach marketing and promotions for tourism and business development. So that's how it is aligned with our strategic plan. And I do want to give you a little bit of history on how this came about and why I requested to have an advertising budget for this coming fiscal year that has begun on October the 1st. So last November, I went to a leadership conference in Tampa, and there was a statement from the mayor that says, "Welcome to the city of Tampa." And when I was in Fort Lauderdale, it said, to the city, welcome to Broward County from Michael Udine. And my ears started to perk up because I said, well, why doesn't our mayor welcome people to the city of Dania Beach at our airport? And so on November 15th, I went to Turks and Caicos for international travel. And everybody who was anybody had a presence inside the airport, from universities to major companies, all over major businesses. And we've all talked about during the strategic planning why, if we can't have our name outside on the airport itself, that we should be able to have a presence at least inside of the airport. Following that, I went to Chicago to visit my parents for Thanksgiving, and then in Maryland in Christmas. So traveling 8 times in 2 months made me really focus on the fact that the Fort Lauderdale airport has an untapped treasure trove of opportunities to put Dania Beach on the map. And I was bound and determined to find out exactly how to do it. So I did my research and due diligence, as like I always do with everything. And it took me about 2 months to find out the process, to find out a contact person. But on January the 11th, I went to the administration and we began working with the airport advertising agency with Maxine. Thank you for the million phone calls and emails that you have been going back and forth with the agency. And we decided to move forward with looking at how Dania Beach could be presented at the airport. On March 12th, I went to the airport tour with the advertising agency. We got airport badges. I went through all 4 terminals, all 4 security checks in 4.5 hours of looking at all the terminals. And I wanted to identify the most visible and high traffic areas in the entire airport to see what the best advertising opportunities would be for Dania Beach. Next slide, please. So this part is just to really give you the statistics and the numbers that I know the vice mayor looks for the numbers. And so we're looking at the numbers of what these opportunities could bring. So Florida ranks number 2 in the entire country in terms of airline passengers. You can look at all the population and the workforce, but the key thing is that this is all about tourism. The key industry is tourism. And with the tourism in Florida, we bring in 12.8 million visitors that spend $5.8 billion. And I want our city of Dania Beach to have a piece of that $5.8 billion pie. Next slide, please. Fort Lauderdale is the fastest growing passenger hub in the United States. These numbers are very impressive. Annual passengers, there's over 36,747,622 annual passengers. And with that, they bring over 102, almost 103 million impressions. And for people who don't understand what the impressions are, it's just when a user sees an advertisement. So for every 36 million, there's 100 over 103 million people who look at the advertising. And the monthly passengers is very important because this is how the advertising goes. There's over 3,062,000 passengers with over 8 million, 8 point, almost 8.6 million impressions. So when you advertise at the airport, there is a 28-day period, so it goes by each month. So that's how many people would be seeing our advertisement each month. If you go to the travel uh, section, is 50% of Fort Lauderdale frequent flyers have flown for business over the last year. So that's it. A lot of it is business travel. Next slide. And we are now looking at international versus domestic travel. And you can see that there's over 27, almost 28 million annual domestic passengers for the airport, and 70%, 76% of that traffic is domestic. So, and if you look on the slide there, you will see the Everglades Holiday Park. These are different areas that we looked at for advertising. Next slide. Oh, well, hold on. Wait, go back. So I wanted to point out the main airlines that are serviced, obviously Spirit, but then Southwest is very important, as you will see why in a minute, and JetBlue as well. Next slide, please. So we broke down all of the information by percentages by terminal. So if you look at the terminals and not just all the traffic collectively, look at where the most high traffic areas are, and they will see that they are Terminal 1 with Bahamas Air, Southwest, and Swoop. And then the second one is also a Concourse B, which is Southwest. I personally, my family only goes Southwest. That's why I saw all the advertisements and felt like I needed to bring that to the commission. But it's not just getting people to see advertising at the airport, it's how do we get the people from the airport to Dania Beach specifically. So if we could load up the other presentation, please. So advertising at the airport, I mean, it is a major advertising opportunity. But when people come to the airport, when people fly in, the first thing they do is open up their phones and see what's going on. So I looked at digital offerings for many different companies, but I think the kinds of company that I would recommend would be one that has multiple digital offerings that can go on multiple platforms. So you have audio streaming, banners, video, and rich media. And I'm not going to go through all of them. This is just a snapshot, so it'll be okay. Next slide, please. So the digital advertising products have different commercials. I think most of us are familiar with Pandora and iHeartRadio. We can have those audio commercials to come in. Instead of piecemealing and just going to one company to do one thing, there are companies that can spread out and do digital advertising in multiple platforms. We have the podcast, the Pandora, the Spotify, and the CTV, which is connected TV or over the top video that can reach all the hardware for the internet for, I think, you know, that Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. It can go into all those and create commercials or videos and potential opportunities to advertise for Dania Beach. And I think we all know what videos are. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Banner ads. Hopefully you can see that the picture is changing here. If you look at the cell phone on the top of the screen, there's a little banner that comes. So if you were coming into the airport, or if you have a layover, or if you're delayed at the airport, you're looking at your phone, then you would see this banner pop up over your phone. And whatever we wanted to put there, see it, live it, love it. We have Dania Point in the house. We have where do we want to drive traffic? And our biggest employer is Dania Point. So we would want to make sure that we drive people to Dania Point and to our lovely beach. We have the closest beach to the airport, and I think we have a lot of opportunity to capitalize on that. So I won't go into rich media and programmatic at this time, but these are other platforms that I would like to discuss at a later date. Next one. I just want you to see that the banner ads that I just showed you will reach over 25,000 apps. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are on your phone that has those commercials, you're able to target the audience in Broward County or wherever we select the area to be, and to identify the IP address so that we can drive traffic to our major areas. And each ad has a clickable URL, so we could have a landing page that shows all of the advertising opportunities. Let's go. Next slide. And so again, the connected TV and the over the top video viewing has different outlets. So we all use Netflix, the gaming devices, the Roku, the Fire Stick. This is growing. This is like growing by leaps and bounds, and we can work with all different agencies with one agency, and that would be my recommendation. Or when we look at an RFP, looking at a company that can go to multiple advertising mediums. So with that, that will conclude the research portion of my presentation, and I would like to give an opportunity. I don't know, we all passed the advertising budget, so I wanted to see if we could get consensus to talk about this at a deeper level on different occasions. Or if you have ideas, then you're certainly welcome to express them now, but I didn't want to take up an exorbitant amount of time.
Thank you. Anyone have any comments? Only thing I wanted to say is, um, I think the city has been long overdue. I've mentioned this a few years ago about us needing our own marketing and communications whole department, and I think this is what would fall in line with that. Um, any if you wanted to outsource it, I guess if you're looking for a company to come in and do that, they would do exactly what a communications or a marketing department would do. And we did a little bit of that with our branding campaign. A little bit of where you're talking about is like geo fencing and understanding when they're in our area that they're going to see certain ads. And there is a deeper dive into all of that and understanding you pay by the click and all of that other stuff that you would do. So uh, I would like to do one better, maybe for next year's budget, just to look at because we are growing and because I do think that we need to expand our brand and not necessarily to bring people here to just develop things, but just to make sure that we are being seen. We have been looked over for quite some time, and I think that we're making a comeback from that. I would like to see some type of a structure of a communications and marketing department that way the services that we already outsource into us when it comes down to social media graphics or the support that comes to Katia um, for the entire city, CRA and city, because that when you have that type of department, they can do those things in house. They can do our social media in house. They can push out those communications in house, and we're not just forcing it down one avenue, which is currently just Katia. And I think that there is a wealth of different ideas that can come from that, including the ones that you have laid out here. But I think that we owe it more than just that part of it, and that we can potentially have an entire department with different people that are doing different avenues within that. Those are my comments on it.
So the ask is to have a deeper conversation and a workshop, since we have $100,000 budget that we've already allocated towards this effort. that we begin the process and to see if there's consensus for a workshop for everybody to bring. I know that the manager has ideas. I know other people, when we approved this, had ideas for different kinds of advertising they wanted to do or begin, even if that's the conversation of how to plan it out. So my ask is to seek consensus for a workshop at a later date.
No, I'm fine with that. I was
Okay.
just saying that on top of that,
Okay.
to expand on that and not just stop there.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a special event request from the City of Dania Beach for an employee appreciation picnic to be held at City Hall on October the 22nd at 12 p.m. Um, the applicant, us, asking to request a waiver of fees. Do we have any issues with this?
No, we asked for your support and we're really looking forward to this event. The Vice Mayor has been working with Maxine and in the committee, so thank you.
All right. Do we have? I'll just put you. Do we have a motion and a second to approve it?
All approved.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Next, we have a special event request from Dania Live to host the Dania Point Food and Wine Festival to be held um, every Saturday on October. No, to be held on Saturday. I thought you were gonna do it every Saturday. On Saturday, October 22nd from 5 to 11. He said, don't do that to me. Oh, gosh. And we have the applicant here to talk to us. Hey. Oh, yes. I didn't know if you wanted to speak.
Spit out.
Well, I just wanted to welcome Brad and Emily. We have been working very diligently to create a wonderful, wonderful partnership with Dania Point. The manager and I have met on several occasions, and we are just so thrilled to be working with this 5K event. And now I heard of exotics, but I didn't know about exotics. And then I saw Floyd, and I was like, you're the exotics. So it is so exciting. You have no idea what's coming to Dania Beach with this exotics. I've known him for many, many years at Aventura Marketing Council. It is, I mean, it is going to be phenomenal. And I can say this, we stole them from the Las Olas. And so we are going to be rocking and rolling like you have never seen before. So the 5K is something that was a part of my dream when we did the Get Fit Dania Beach. I know Linda kicked it off with the employees, and we had a great biometric screening, and we're talking about health and wellness. And when I went to the with the lifeguards 5K in Mercedes Benz, I was like, we can do our own 5K here. And so when we talked about it, you guys were on board, and so thank you for just doing the awesome job that you all always do, and we appreciate um, all the partnership that you've brought to the city of Dania Beach. Thank you.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Do you want to speak a little bit about the Dania Point Food and Wine Festival?
Yeah, hey, good
Hey.
evening. What we thought we would do was kind of hit all three of these at once, if it would be all right with you.
Absolutely. Let me
Oh,
just name them for the public. We're talking about the Food and Wine Festival and the Exotics at Dania Point, and then the Dania Point 5K Run Under the Sun.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. As always, it's great to be here. I'm very excited to continue to um, broadcast or announce the next great things that we're doing at Dania Point in conjunction with all of your support. And it can't go unnoticed how much we appreciate how much you support us and what a great partnership we have. Before we get going, I'd like to just introduce Emily Worley. She is the new marketing manager over at Dania Point. As you recall, Maynell was here, but she's been promoted internally and now does more of a corporate side of things. And so going forward, Emily's going to be the person that's kind of the boots on the ground and the day-to-day marketing. So I'm going to turn it over to Emily, and she's going to take it from here.
Thanks, Brad. And good evening, everyone. It's great to be here before you and just fill you in on all the exciting things we have coming to the city of Dania Beach and Dania Point. So first, I just want to, can we go to the next slide, please? First, I just want to introduce all of our event coordinators. So for each event that we're going to be presenting tonight, we have partnered with an event production company. These are people who are the best of the best. They're really well known and respected in their field. So I want to highlight for the Dania Point 5K, Frankie, Zoltan, and Anna. Zoltan and Anna are here tonight. So they actually work on the Miami Marathon every year and putting that together. They also work with Brickell Run Club, which is a run club that does runs throughout the city every week. So these are people who they know the running community very well. If you're in the running community, you probably know of them. So we're really confident that they're going to come to the center and to the city and put together a really well done event. They really thought of everything and are working really closely with us to review everything and make sure it goes off without a hitch. For Exotics at the Point, we have John Hirsch and Floyd Ragg here tonight. So they're the ones that put on Exotics on Las Olas, which has been renamed to Exotics at Dania Point. So they've been working really closely with us, just putting everything together and helping us create a beautiful event. For the Dania Point Food and Wine Festival, we partnered with a company called Brew in Motion. So that's run by Rene Rodriguez. He actually works on the South Beach Food and Wine Festival and the Doral Food and Wine Festival. So he partners with a number of really well-known chefs. So they're very well versed in the food and wine festival arena. They're really good with the operations and have been working really closely with our tenants to make sure it goes off without a hitch. So I'm going to start off with the 5K. So I would just like to highlight Commissioner Davis and City Manager Ana Garcia's support on this event. They've been really influential in bringing this to fruition. So I just want to thank you for helping us out with everything so far. And if we could just go back one slide. Thank you. So this event is set for October 30th, 2022. It's going to begin at 8 a.m. and go through 11 a.m. It's going to begin and end on the lawn at Dania Point. At the finish line, we're going to have live music and entertainment, really just to celebrate the fact that this is an inaugural 5K for us. We would love to do this event every year and really grow and expand it. So for this first event, we are expecting about 300. That's the number that we're aiming for. However, having said that, this is the first event of its kind that we're doing here in the city. We are, not getting too tied to the numbers. It's okay if we don't have more than 150 or anything like that. The idea for this first event is really to just establish ourselves in the running space. There's a lot of 5Ks and a lot of walks out there, so we're really just trying to pave our way and bring that to the city. So if you'd like to register, you can go to daniapoint.com/5K and get your tickets. And then here you can see if you register, you do get a Dania Point shirt. So it's a nice white Nike shirt. It's a nice breathable material. So it has the run logo on the front, and then on the back it'll have the Dania Point and the Dania Beach logo, along with that hashtag #GetFitDaniaBeach. So each participant will get a medal. So up there on the screen, you'll see the first, second, and third place medals, but everyone that registered will be receiving a medal as well as some bounce backs to all of our tenants. And if nobody has, oh, sorry, can we move to the next slide? So this is just a quick overview of the course. So the course was designed to take runners through the center. Frankie's been working really hard, and Zoltan as well, on making this a fun course. So rather than it just being a straight line or a couple straight lines, it really, is fun. It takes you through. You get to see different things. And we've been working really closely with BSO and the fire department to make sure that we're taking every precaution and that we're thought of everything and closing off the right roads to ensure the safety of the runners. So if nobody has any questions, I'm going to jump into the next event, which is the Food and Wine Festival.
Sorry, did you have a question? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So for the Food and Wine Festival, this is set for October 22nd from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. So samples will be available from 5 to 10, and then 10 to 11 will really be our closing entertainment. So this really is an idea. The idea of this is to be able to taste and drink your way through Dania Point restaurants. So the chefs have selected their favorite dishes that they're going to prepare and hand out samples for to all of the event attendees. The chefs are also going to do live demonstrations in a tent, and they're actually only using an induction stove, so there'll be no open flame or gas or anything like that. There's also going to be a hands-on workshop for the kids. So the In Ramen has signed up to do a really fun ramen pulling workshop with small groups of kids. So it's going to be really interactive and fun. So we posted this event on Eventbrite a few weeks ago, and within 2 weeks, 1,000 tickets were already claimed. So it's been amazing to see just the appetite that the community has for an event like this in Dania. We've slowly been releasing 100 tickets every week to get up to 1,500, but we will not exceed that capacity. And if any of you would like to attend the event, just let me know. We have you saved. I got you guys. We'll make sure that you'll be there. Yeah, so we're going to be controlling the attendance within the lawn area. So if you're at the event, you can't, or if you're at Dania Point, you can't just walk into the event. So you will need an Eventbrite ticket to get in. We'll be monitoring attendance pretty closely. That area will be fenced off. And we're really doing this just because we don't want to overwhelm our tenants that are participating in this event. We don't really want them to be bombarded or for there to be a stampede or anything. But also, we like that this is going to build some exclusivity for this event. So, people will be able to see it happening. The chef demonstration area will be open to the public, so people can still go watch, see the chefs, do their thing. But we hope that this will build anticipation for this event to grow in the years to come. In the future, we do plan on charging for this event, but as this is the first one and we're really just trying to establish ourselves, it's going to be a free event. So you can register on Eventbrite or just email me if you would like a ticket. And then if we can move to the next slide. So that's just a brief layout of the floor plan. So as I mentioned, the exterior of the lawn area will be fenced off, so you can't get in without an Eventbrite ticket. On the lawn, that's where all the tenants are going to be set up. And then that big dome tent you see towards the back, that's where the chef demonstrations are going to go. And then right in the middle, there's going to be 2 sections for our VIP, media, and press. And if there are no questions on that, I'm going to jump into the next event. Okay, so this is one that is very exciting for us to announce. So this is Exotics at Dania Point. So as I mentioned, this was Exotics on Las Olas. It's been renamed and it's moving here to Dania Beach and Dania Point. So this is set for Sunday, November 13th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we are going to be closing off Point Drive and Point Boulevard to display over 250 exotic cars. So these are cars that are highly curated. They're worth a lot of money. So they range from 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, $4 million cars. So this is the Bugattis, the McLarens. They're really exclusive, really beautiful, exciting cars to see. They're actually going to have the first electric Bugatti in Florida unveiled at this event. So we're really excited for the community to be able to come out and experience this and, just really bring something different, unique, and fun to Dania. The race cars the cars will be classified in different categories. So there'll be race car row, classic car row, $1 million row, supercar row, and dealer row. And if we can move to the next slide. So this is just a quick look at the site plan. So as I mentioned, we'll be closing off Point Drive and Point Boulevard so everybody can walk and experience all the cars all together and really be immersed in this new world for us. And if nobody has any questions on that, that wraps up all the events that we're aiming to bring to Dania Point and Dania Beach this fall. So we're really excited to continue to build Dania Point and the city really as an iconic destination and have events that are fun, safe, free, and fun for the whole family and for the community to come out and enjoy and experience along with us. So thank you for your partnership and thank you for your time tonight.
Hold on, Emily, not so fast. Vice Mayor.
Well, I want to thank you guys. I go to Dania Point every now and then, and and shut up. And I just have to commend all of you over there because I do participate in a certain place over there that I sit and listen to a lot of the people that come in from out of town. They come in from the hotels and so on, and they do nothing but compliment the landscape, the people that you have out there doing entertainment, the lawn specifically, how clean it is, how nothing looks like it's used, it looks like it's brand new. So with Kimco and Dania Point, I know that you guys are doing a bang up job, and I'll tell you, I'm very proud of you guys to be in our city. I'll tell you that right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what the Vice Mayor said. Brad, you have done such a great, job building your team with Emily Minell, who just got promoted. But the caliber of individuals that you're bringing into the city, not just the events, but when I see, the exotics from Las Olas and the team coming over here, when I see Frankie, who was so instrumental in the Miami Marathon, these are A-plus individuals that are now going to be doing activities and programs in our city. So thank you, because you could look at events, but if you look at the people behind the events, that's what's so exciting and what you guys are bringing. So very grateful to you, and you guys have been such a good team. whether it's the State of the City address or these partnerships that we're having, working with the mayor, working with, Commissioner Davis. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say what an incredible use of green space, Brad. I know that when this concept came about, we wanted this Apple store and then this other standalone store. But I think that things are delayed or denied for a bigger vision that we can't see at the moment. And what you all have been able to accomplish with the green spaces that are still existing there. I don't think you should build anything there. I know that you may have some demand to bring stores there, but I think that what you guys doing again are phenomenal. Your security definitely is doing what they're supposed to do. I was doing a video with Katya over there the other day, and the security tried to kick me off, tried to kick me off. I said I just saw Brad, but I think that your staff and Emily, welcome to the team, and Maynell was phenomenal, and I know that you're going to be phenomenal as well. I do want to challenge you all to possibly on top of everything that you're doing. Uh, think about bringing that when I look at that like a fashion show there. I have some contacts that I want to share with you all. I think that it'll go hand in hand with the wine and tasting and everything else that you have going on. Not for this time, but in the future, some other types of events that can actually go. We have so much potential here, and I hear nothing but great things about Dania Point, and I am so incredibly grateful to be able to serve and to witness the evolution of Dania Beach right before our eyes. So thank you. Um, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I make a motion to pass 3.3, 3.4, 3.5.
Second, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Proclamations. It is Florida City Government Week. Oh, that's the wrong one. Bye. Good night. Good night. Whereas city government is the closest to most citizens and one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents. And whereas municipal government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents, making their city their home. And whereas city government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to an understanding of its many responsibilities. And whereas city government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along the understanding of public services and their benefits. And whereas Florida City Government Week offers an important opportunity for elected officials and staff to spread the word to all citizens of Dania Beach that they can shape and influence this branch of government. And whereas Florida League of Cities and its member cities have joined together to teach citizens about municipal government through a variety of activities. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim October 17th through the 22nd, 2022 as Florida City Government Week in the city of Dania Beach, Florida, and encourage our citizens, elected officials, and city team members to participate in events celebrating Florida City Government Week. Thank you. Next, we have citizens' comments. If there is anyone that is in the atrium that would like to address the commission, please do so. There is a request to speak form right outside the door. If there is anyone that is online, please use your raise your hand tool. Seeing as there are none, we will go to public safety reports. Captain Marks.
Can you see me?
I can't see you, but I can hear you. Your video is off.
I'm trying to turn it on here. I'm sorry.
Do you see it now? Okay, there it is.
All right, perfect. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Tonight I want to start with our Employee of the Month. We actually have two of them. Everybody knows that when the worst type of property crime is when somebody violates your home and steals your property. And when we're able to get that property back and make an arrest on it, it really makes us proud. So our Dania Beach deputies were dispatched to a delayed burglary of a residence. The caller reported that persons tried to unlawfully enter his occupied home. He added that they fled eastbound from the residence. Deputy Valdez responded to the incident location, met with the victim, reviewed video surveillance, identified property they unlawfully removed, and broadcast an updated BOLO, which is be on the lookout for. Deputy Valdez was also able to determine that the culprits may have been involved in another burglary at the same location days earlier. Deputies were unable to locate the offenders east of the location. This prompted Deputy Talentus to conduct an area check west of the residence, at which time he observed one of the suspects entering the parking lot of a nearby convenience store. Deputies Talentus and Valdez worked together to maintain surveillance of the suspect until he met up with a second offender. Both subjects were detained, and Dania Beach Criminal Investigations Detective Pago conducted a show-up, which resulted in a positive identification of both defendants. Detective Pago was able to obtain post-Miranda confessions, clearing 2 residential burglaries. Thanks to Deputy Valdez and Talentus' perseverance, teamwork, and dedication to duty, both offenders were arrested, stolen property was recovered, and 2 Part 1 crimes were cleared for our city. So congratulations to them. Great work as usual. Now this case right here, this is a media release from the U.S. Department of Justice, the FBI. I'm very, very proud of this. This was a joint effort between our federal counterparts, our Broward sheriffs, Dania Beach detectives, and multiple other agencies within the county. So I'm going to read this. A Fort Lauderdale, Florida jury convicted the defendant, a member of a local South Florida gang, with racketeering, conspiracy, armed robbery, conspiracy, murder, and other crimes following a rash of violence that plagued Broward County from 2015 to 2021. According to the evidence presented in trial, in November 2015, the defendant joined a criminal enterprise that committed armed home invasions, armed robberies, assaults, attempted murders, and murders. The defendant was convicted of engaging in a racketeering conspiracy that included the commission of murder. According to the evidence presented at trial, on November 3rd, 2015, the defendant shot and killed a victim during the course of a home invasion robbery in Dania Beach. The next day, on November 4th, the defendant was involved in another home invasion robbery in Lauderhill that resulted in the death of another victim. On November 25th, the suspect shot another victim and left him for dead during a home invasion robbery in Hollywood. This was captured on security camera video. The defendant committed 2 other burglaries in Hollywood in November of 2015. The defendant and his fellow gang members advertised their success on social media in order to advance their prestige and reputation. In all, the defendant was convicted of 10 counts, including RICO conspiracy, Hobbs Act conspiracy, conspiracy to use or carry a firearm during a crime of violence, causing the death of a person by using a firearm, 3 counts of Hobbs Act robbery, and 3 counts of discharging a firearm during a crime of violence. The defendant now faces a statutory maximum of life imprisonment on 5 of those charges, plus an additional 30 years for the discharge of a firearm during the 3 robberies. This, to me, this started when I first came to Dania, and to see it all go through, it was great teamwork. And he was not the only defendant in this case. There were quite a few other gang members that were indicted, and they, just so you know, they weren't out in public during this whole time. A lot of this transpired while they were in prison on other charges. That completes my report for tonight.
Are you allowed to tell us the name of the defendant?
Yes, the one is Slade. Derek Slade.
Got it. Thank you. Any other comments? Very, very good work. Uh, Very good
Thank you,
work.
ma'am.
Thank you. Seeing as though there are no other comments, Chief Pelisar. Thank you, Captain Marks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. I gotta look for the green light.
Little upgrade for the mics.
There you go. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and our great citizen, Dania Beach. I want to start off by being thankful for everybody that's here tonight, our audience at home, that we made it through a hurricane. I will continue prayers for the people in the West Coast. I hope they get through this. I know it's very rough on them. Our public education and fire rescue units have been busy attending all the schools in Dania Beach. They keep going around and trying to motivate our children and bring the fire truck out there, doing the show, continue doing the show and tell, basically, and in the hopes, in my hopes anyway, that one of these children will be inspired to be a firefighter in the future. So we continue the future of the fire service going. I'd like to remind our citizens that October is Fire Prevention Month. The goal of Fire Prevention Month is to raise safety and awareness and help ensure that your family's home is protected. So around this time is when you should be checking your smoke detectors. Make sure they have batteries. Most smoke detectors nowadays are hardwired, so they don't need batteries. But just make sure they sound. So just push them. Make sure they'll work for you. Our police team and fire rescue met with Dania Point also to assist with their 5K. And I plan on being there and actually briskly walking. I don't know about running it, but I'll definitely do it. I like to, thank you, the commission and city manager and the city team, because our fire station renovation, Fire Station 1, we're about 5 to 6 weeks out on getting new windows being installed. This is part of our hurricane hardening project for the fire station. And so being 5 to 6 weeks out is good. Before the end of this year, we'll have renovated living quarters that house. Currently, we have one lieutenant. We'll have two lieutenants come April 2nd. But those renovations will now house two rescue lieutenants with their own quarters and office, and also house the firefighters to go along with the rescue trucks. Recently, inside our fire station, we gave it a new coat of fresh paint. So it's very bright and very nice. And the women and men at the fire station are very happy that they got a nice new coat of paint. And, again, it builds team camaraderie, and they're all pitching in, restoring all our pictures and getting everything, all the pictures. We had to take all our old pictures down. So now we're going to put them back up, but with purpose. And it really makes our team work together and just gives them something to do besides running the calls. They're very happy and excited about this. Our kitchen cabinetry is getting, instead of tearing down the kitchen, and it's getting refaced with all new Formica, so it looks brand new. I walked in there today and watched these guys work, and it looks really nice. So when all these projects are done, I'm going to ask that you all come and do a tour of the fire station. And this is something that you can be proud of, because without your help, we wouldn't be able to do this. Lastly, I also want to thank you for the support, because in the in the months upcoming, we will be scheduling the refurbishment of our fire rescue trucks. So our trucks are about 12 years old. Our fire trucks are two Quints, Quint 1 and Quint 17, which are the ladder trucks. They're about 12 years old. So what we're doing is we're going to take these back up to Piers, which is I believe it's in Minnesota. We're going to take them back to Piers, and we're going to take one truck at a time, of course, and we'll have a loaner unit in the meantime. But one of those trucks will be completely gutted, refurbished. They're going to take it off the chassis. They're going to refurbish every moving part on it. They're going to look at the engine, make sure so by the time we get that truck back, instead of spending $1 million on a fire truck, we're going to have it back for a lot less than that, and it's going to add 7 to 8 years of life to that truck. So it's an investment in our fleet that, again, thanks to you, we're able to get this done. And just thinking outside the box, getting things better for our firefighters and safer for our firefighters. So that completes my report. Do you have any questions?
I do not. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls?
Make a motion to pass, sorry,
Consent agenda.
consent to 7.1323, yep, consent agenda.
You all right? Commissioner Llewellyn, seconded. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Item 8.1.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing the award of invitation to bid 22-029 sidewalk demolition and installation Tier 1 project to Team Contracting, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $822,603.60, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is a public services item.
All right, we have the item in front of us. Do we have any discussion?
Make a motion to pass 8.1, Mayor.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? 8.2.
A resolution of the City Commission authorizing the award of invitation to bid 22-30 directional boring and electrical utility installation, and for the proper city officials to enter into an agreement with Kensenko Electrical Contractors, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $195,000, authorizing the city to exceed the annual vendor threshold total of $50,000, providing for conflicts and an effective date. Public services.
Seeing as if there is no discussion, do we have a motion and a second?
Make a motion to pass 8.2, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 8.3. Oh, sorry. Public hearings. 9.1.
An ordinance of the City Commission approving the right-of-way vacation request submitted by the City of Dania Beach for the property generally located at 100 Northwest 8th Avenue between Northwest 2nd and Northwest 1st Streets respectively, which right-of-way is contained within the plat of Westmoreland, recorded in Plat Book 19, page 8 of the Public Records Book for Broward County, which way is generally known as Northwest 10th Avenue, provided for conflicts, severability, and effective date. This is second reading. It is a community development item.
Thank you. Do we need to see this again? No. Okay. This is a public. No, you don't, Eleanor. We're all right. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this?
That's one.
Oh.
Good.
Make a motion to approve, second, whatever.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 9.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million, which expenditure is not to exceed the project estimate of $4,821,520, approved by the City Commission to fund the rehabilitation of lift stations 1, 2, and 3 projects, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date. This is first reading. Public services.
This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Have a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to pass 9.2, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone? Awesome. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Davis?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to keep my comments brief, but I do want to say how very proud and excited I was to see our city manager and team at the Port Everglades Association luncheon. It was an awesome, awesome event, and our city manager hit it out of the park. I think when especially the analogy of passing the baton. I know that every day, if she's not here, she can pass the baton to Candido. Candido can pass the baton to Frank, and we all keep a nice, smooth sailing ship. And so I really, it was great for everyone to be able to see what we get to do every single day or week or whatever, but that you have assembled that team with the RISE principles, and they really have permeated throughout the city and just did a really incredible, incredible job. So with that, those will close my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, thank you. Very brief as well. Agreed. At the PEA, it was amazing to see the turnout of our city staff who came to support, and our city manager did an excellent job. The comments that were being made were that everybody who, as they were leaving, were just saying they felt so uplifted and happy and just full of energy, as we all do when we listen to Anna speak. So, so it was very good. We had a nice presence there, and it was a lovely afternoon. I also just want to say, thankfully, we did not get hit with this hurricane over the last couple of weeks here. But unfortunately, we know we have lots of people, and I know we have our vice mayor who was impacted his other home over on the West Coast. So I know there's a lot of people that are sending things over there, but I'm sure the vice mayor will talk about some of that as well and let people know what they need at this point. You may, I don't know, you may not, but I know you've been over there quite a bit, and I thank you for going over there and helping people out. And I know that you may know more what people need and what they don't over there than the rest of us do, since we're not there. I also would like to express my condolences to the Collins family. Rodney was a character. Rodney was one of a kind, and I was very saddened to hear of his passing recently, and definitely a great loss to the city. And that's all I have. So thank you very much, and be safe.
Thank you. Commissioner Ottman?
Thank you. I have no comments tonight. I want to extend my condolences as well to the Collins family. But that is all. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Well, also my condolences to the Rodney Collins family. Him being around Dania Beach a long time, we've had some great interaction when he was here at City Hall, and it was very interesting to listen to. And man, as you said, with all the education, was very, very smart. And I'm sorry to hear of his passing. I will elaborate though on the West Coast a little bit. I was there. I do have a house right in the middle of the eye of the storm. It was in Mount Lachey. I'm sure you've seen on the news. Um, the island. If anybody hasn't been over there, you can see it on the news. But to see it up close and to go by boat, which I did a few times already, the impact over there is crazy. You would not believe the stories and the devastations over there. It'll never be the same. I can tell you that Sanibel and Pine Island and Mount Lachey and somewhat of Naples, the historical sites that are over there, the people that go there and see these beautiful, colorful houses that were built in 1900, they're gone. I literally saw hotels that were and restaurants that were on piling, lifted up off their pilings, and they're on the middle of the street, crushed up. Um, the sad part was I saw search and rescue out there, and it was very sad to see them out there because, as you see, there was a body count out there. As far as the going over there, I've been over there. The only way you could get to the island the first few times was to until just a couple of days ago. You had to go by boat, and you would not believe the outpouring of support. Everybody fighting to get their boats off their lifts or wherever coming from, bringing them on trailers. They constantly were bringing people to and from the island with food, water, gasoline for their generators. The ones that could survive on the island tried to stay there, but it just got to the point where it was almost impossible for the majority of the island. And just to tell you how fortunate I was, the one second, the impact of the floods were crazy. I'm sorry. Water rising in the canals in there, watching the people tell me about the tidal surge coming in. It's crazy. Sorry. Anyhow, luckily the people that I know that were on my island, I didn't know of anybody that passed. I did know that I was very lucky. My boat, out of the whole canal, there was one of two boats that survived. So I was blessed. My house only received 1 inch of water, and I don't know how because the tidal surge was so great coming down the Mount Leger Pass. And people that stood on the third floor said it looked like a tidal wave coming in, and it just after it settled up about to the height of my door, it just stopped. But it was crazy. Uh, People are just devastated. It's all sorry, but all I can tell you is if anybody wants to help them out, the biggest thing right now is to try to get them some gasoline because the water was turned on today, thankfully in Mount Lachey, the Pine Island area. So they're back on water. Electric is probably 3 to 4 weeks out, so they're still running generators. Sanibel is forget about it. I mean, they're months, years away from probably even reestablishing anything out there. But I can tell you that I did see hundreds and hundreds of power trucks out there and supplies, and they rebuilt the Matlacha road that got washed away to stop the island. They had an independent company come in there. They did not wait for FEMA. They came in independently and they rebuilt in 3 days another road to get across the island. So that's my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, and definitely keeping you and everyone else that was directly impacted by this hurricane in our thoughts and prayers. And I know that there's often an attitude of, oh gosh, we did all this preparation, it did get hit. I would prepare 1,000 times over more, and I would prefer to be prepared and it to not hit me than to be on the other side of things. So definitely gonna keep you uplifted, and all those that were impacted by the storm. The only thing I do want to share is that the city manager and I will be going to a meeting tomorrow with JetBlue and Spirit, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on with that. We know there are a lot of changes to come, but our main focus is to make sure that the project continues and that it continues in our city. I know that permitting is still happening, and there may be some changes, but our focus is to definitely keep the headquarters or and to see the vision of JetBlue and Frontier and all that is coming to our city. With that, that'll complete my comments. I do have an appointment for the Dania Beach Housing Authority. I would like to reappoint Rosalind Curry as her term expires on the 31st. So, do we have
Agreed. Yes.
a motion? Do we have a second? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. City Manager?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I too would like to extend my condolences to the Collins family. Rodney was one of the first residents that reached out to me when I first became the manager. And I think he just wanted to check me out and make sure that I was legit. He was very, very smart man. We shared our love for the University of Miami and community, and he was really fascinating. So my condolences to the family and also to all the people out in the West Coast, Vice Mayor. A lot of people, a lot of city managers, a lot of friends and family there. And when I drive through our city and look at the Griffin Road median, and I look at all the beautiful landscaping that we're planting and all the shovels that are on the ground and all the projects that we have coming and how blessed we are. But all it takes is, one storm and we need other people's help. So I'm going to reach out to you separately, personally to support your efforts, Vice Mayor, out in the West Coast. Speaking of the Griffin Road median landscape project, it's advancing beautifully. We removed a lot of the old dead trees and the ground cover, and we're going to be reaching out to you in the next couple of weeks to set a celebratory ribbon cutting. So very, very excited about that. The West Wing at City Hall is complete. We're just going over the details, and we're very excited that Tuesday the 25th, we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting over there. We have just gained 2,500 square feet of space, and it's looking beautiful. Thank you to the team at Public Services, to Linda, to Maxine, and to all of you for supporting that investment, because that is a true investment that we desperately needed in our city. So that's going to take place on the 25th at 6 p.m. and we have rescheduled our AFSMI ratification ceremony. I'm again grateful to this city commission for the support of our employees, our union employees, and our whole city team. It really has created a tremendous atmosphere of hardworking individuals. And anytime I stop and talk to our team, they're all extremely excited. And we're getting the return on that investment that you have put forward in our city employees. We are about 45% complete of the $1 million project of our city pier, and it's a remarkable transformation. Not only would it be is it going to be a more beautiful structure, but what you all want as your priority, which is going to be a much more safer structure. So we'll keep providing you the progress of that very exciting project. The Southeast Drainage Project, which is a $15 million project, is mostly all funded. So we're very excited to be moving forward. The cost of phase one is approximately 7.5 million, and we are in the process of getting the funding agreement working with Broward County. So another shovel in the ground, and we've had some great drainage projects and have more coming, but this is the biggest and the most impactful. So again, thank you to all of you, to those that work with us in Tallahassee, to be able to get this tremendous funding. We're looking at various options to promote the city, as Commissioner Davis spoke about. And Candido and I met with a company called Look Advertising. So as we get ready for that workshop, and we encourage all of you to bring ideas, we're going to be bringing some ideas also. I think we're ready to continue to market and advertise our city. We're also going to be doing most likely a mid-year adjustment. I think we're ready for more sophistication and continue to invest in marketing and communications here in our city. On October 7th, as you know, I was a guest speaker for the PA. Thank you again for all your support. I know how much the brand means to all of you. So everything that we're doing is to promote the brand and to make you proud of what we're doing here in the city. And the baton never falls here. Whether we're working with police or with Sergio's team or with Candido, it's just amazing at all levels of our city. So I'm grateful for your support and that I'm able to pass that support on to the rest of our team. It's really remarkable, the Renaissance of Dania Beach. You'll be hearing a lot more of the Renaissance, um, at the Mayor's State of the City address, which again, we've transitioned from the old way of doing things. I hear you loud and clear, Vice Mayor, when you say, well, we've always done it that way. It's not what I want to hear. Is what are we doing to look at things, from a different perspective? So we're very excited about that. I had the opportunity to go to the International City Managers Association conference, and Candido did it here virtually. Out of the 70 cities, approximately between Miami-Dade and Broward, only 6 cities out of the 70 plus have a credentialed manager and a credentialed deputy manager. So we take what we do very seriously, as we do in all the rest of our departments. So this concludes my report. Thank you for your support, and thank you for all the support that you give our entire team.
Thank you. And just as that reminder, the state of the city is this Thursday at 5 o'clock at the Marriott in Dania Point. There are limited amount of tickets available, and you can either visit the city's website or Eventbrite. Next, we'll have the city attorney.
Good evening, everyone. The only thing I really wanted to go over with you is the ILA, the interlocal agreement that is being proposed regarding solid waste and recyclable materials. As you may recall, Commissioner Joyce Davis was appointed by the commission as the liaison to the committee regarding solid waste and recycling in Broward County. The ILA has a deadline of this weekend, this Friday, actually, 10/14, to submit comments on the proposed interlocal agreement. And I've sent
out on the dais for each of you a copy of the comments that staff has prepared. This is not, I'm not looking for a vote or anything because these are preliminary comments from staff. Basically, the idea of this interlocal agreement would be to create an agency that would help all the cities unite as to recycling efforts and also to deal with our solid waste, to either create a new dump, to do a incinerator process or some other process to deal with the trash in this county. It's a 40-year program under this agency. The county is in creating the agency would look at a $2 million startup, and it would be paid by a pro rata share by population within the county. Ultimately, every city would have a seat on the board of directors as well as the executive committee of the agency, and the agency would hopefully make the plans as it relates to how to go forward with recycling and solid waste. The county would have a veto power ultimately over the decision, as the county is the entity that has the responsibility from the state as to the disposal of our solid waste. So our comments are enclosed. I don't want to go through every detail, but I did want to give you notice of all of those comments and to let you know that we are on top of this. We will be submitting them before the deadline, and hopefully a final agreement will be negotiated that will be brought to you for ratification.
And Candido was at the meeting.
Oh,
today, yeah.
I'm sorry, Candido, actually, your assistant city manager, sorry, deputy city manager, was at the meeting with the county this morning. He did fill me in. I don't know if you want to hear from him directly on this issue, but basically the county is very strong on its position that it will not abdicate its authority over solid waste.
All right. Thank you. And one last reminder, from Parks and Recreation, there is a I see you back there. There's a groundbreaking for C.W. Thomas Park tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. If you are listening, please join us tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. at C.W. Thomas Park for this groundbreaking for an $18.1 million facility. And with that, I'll go to the city clerk.
Upcoming meetings. Thank you, Mayor. Tuesday, October 25th, 7 p.m. is your regular city commission meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.